Hey everybody, welcome to week 2 of Acts of Leadership. I hope you are having an absolutely fantastic time there with your groups. Whether your group is brand new, whether your group is old, whether you're a new member, an old member, whatever it is, I really hope that the group time is just as meaningful. I'd actually love it to be more meaningful than the material that we're talking about. Because we really lean in and look at what was happening there in Acts as the early church gathered together while it was in Jerusalem. We see something significant, profound, transformative, life-changing, city-changing, world and history-changing. Is that these followers of Jesus, they just got together. They gathered together. They ate together. They prayed together. They were doing life together. They were doing generosity with one another, even when it was hard. They did that, and surrounding all of it wasn't necessarily an easy context or environment. There was just this spirit of divisiveness and maybe a kind of tribalism in Jerusalem. I think that that's fair to say, because you got to the religious leaders, you've got the Roman Empire officials, you got this budding movement of Jesus followers who are sharing the gospel, and there's lots of excitement, there's lots of buzz, there's lots of disagreement, there's lots of hostility that's coming from people in power. And sometimes leaders are thrown in prison, sometimes they're beaten, sometimes they're killed, and that's surrounding all of this. But right there in the middle of it, we see one of the most amazing expressions of community that maybe has ever been experienced in human history. They were united under the teaching of the apostles, and while that probably, yes, did mean they sat and listened to sermons and talks, I think it's a better way to think about it is that the teaching of the apostles, because the New Testament wasn't written yet, so their only way to access Jesus and to know Jesus was through what the apostles taught, was that it permeated their conversations. It was carried with them in every aspect of life. Yes, they had moments where they gathered and sat and listened, but they're thinking about it, they're talking about it. They're really carrying it with them, in them, as they're gathering together. They're just being slow, and they're eating together. They're not just being generous with their money. They're generous with their time and their food with one another. They're incredibly prayerful together. And so they've got the teaching of the apostles. They've got these clusters of deep, profound community. They've got practices that are nurturing the community that they meet in. And in all of that is the Holy Spirit, animating and empowering them to live out the Christian life. And it's powerfully attractive. It's causing people, sometimes 1,000 a day, to want to join in with Jesus followers and give their lives to Jesus because of what they see. And so this is simply what I want you to think about. What you are doing right now has the potential to be incredibly powerful. And it's powerful and transformative and life-changing. The kind of thing that draws people in, causes people to actually see Jesus more clearly and want to give their lives to him. What you are doing right now has the potential for doing all of that. And it's not because of what you do, but it includes what you do. The power of it all is in the Holy Spirit. What the Holy Spirit does in you and with you and through you individually and collectively, because it's individually and collectively that we are ambassadors and witnesses of Jesus. It's a way that together we're taking a step into leadership and answering the call that Jesus has given us. But the why, the how, it's the power of the Holy Spirit. And it's the practices that we bring in. It's the submitting to the teaching of the word. It's the linking arms with one another and refusing to let go. Those are ways in which we participate and we surrender and we say to the Holy Spirit with our lives, we are open to what only you can do and what you want to do through us. You're going to have a chance to talk about the material in the sermon. You're going to have a chance to respond to some really great questions. But I want you to remember this, as you engage at all, that this is the kind of thing that God finds maybe the most joy in, and helping other people to see who Jesus is and want to come in. It's the gathering together. It's the way that we love each other in this messy mix that makes Jesus clear, and we live this call to leadership together. So be inspired. And if there's something inside of you that is causing you to feel hesitant about kind of dropping your guard and being a bit more real and vulnerable, I just want you to lean in. If there's somebody in your group and you can tell that it's just a little bit harder for them to engage in community life than it is for you, would you be willing to pick up the slack simply because you love them? What if we are the people who love each other, they cluster together under the teaching of the word, gather together, practicing the kind of things that nurture community and our growth in our relationship with Christ, trusting in the power of the Spirit? Whether we are people who do that like the ones who came before, don't you think that we're going to see it not only transform our lives, but the lives of others as well? I hope you have a fantastic group. Hope you have a great conversation. We'll see you next week.